And finally, the Shen dropped away. Interestingly enough, it's fun to watch which teams will ban sort of champions that they'll play themselves, but the Shen dropped away by TSM despite being a dire special, just as stealed away from Psycho Sid. It's kind of interesting to watch, and yeah, we got to see what Vulcan first picks.
Well, because Vulcan banned out so many assassins here, I'm thinking that they're going to run some sort of split pushing composition, or they were looking to do that. Maybe that Shen last ban was a really good last ban because that was what Vulcan was looking for, but I think that they are very wary of being picked off here because of both the Zed and the Ahri ban here. So it's probably going to be one of those split pushing comps.
Yeah, we'll see. It's actually a pretty smart adaptation. It's like the reason that Reggie actually swapped to top lane was in order to control the bans himself. It was actually the reason.
To top lane.
Yeah, he swapped. So Jad always calls it the mid lane seat is Dyrus because we don't believe it. Anyway, though, first pick Jarvan coming through for Vulcan. So that's what they've gone for here.
So that's one that doesn't give away anything because Jarvan goes with everything. That's what NK Inc. said. It's his favorite jungler. It fits into any composition. It doesn't tell the other team what you're looking for very early. And it's just an all-around really good first pick here.
Ooh, yeah. So last time TSM got the duo pick, they went for Sona Twitch, which banned. They're like, all right, well, you gave Reggie Karthus. Guys, what? All right. I guess we get Karthus now. Let's go.
So Vulcan has sort of turned TSM, forced their hand into this pick, though. So TSM is not going to be running a pick composition or a composition with, duelists like that. They're running with the Karthus, who just sits middle, farms up, and will add the Requiems on the side for extra damage to come in to the lanes.
No, he'll do the Requiem assassinations.
Okay.
Whenever someone gets low, it's
so sneaky.
He just shows up. You don't even see him coming. He just shows above you.
You just get this giant red pillar above your head for like 3 seconds.
And then you die. It's sad. The song ends. It's a really short song, by the way. It's a Requiem, but it's not many notes in that one. Anyway, Zach and Zyra joining the crew here for Vulcan. And, man, Jarvan Zax's a really popular combo here, and adding the Zyra as well. They've got a pretty good engaged team.
It adds a whole bunch of team fight control when you do have that Jarvan Zac combo. And TSM really answering with some of their most comfortable champions. It goes without saying that Reggie loves Karthus, but also the odd one used Nocturne all the way back in Season 1 through Season 2. He's very, very at home on that champion. It's one of the few more carry-oriented junglers that he is at home with. That being said, I doubt he'll be building a Hydra or something like that.
No Elder Lizard Tiamat build?
No, he'll probably be going more conventional tanky Nocturne build here. Meteos is just having a little fun in that last one.
At least it worked out. Actually wasn't getting focused in the fight either. He managed to carry that one too. So there we go. TSM putting in a pretty normal lineup here. We don't see a lot of Wild Turtle Vayne, but bringing it out here, I gotta trust his ability in this one. Meanwhile, Vulcan, interesting here. Yeah, they've locked in the Ezra. I like that. They were like, hey, we're showing Ashe. Oh, they actually just might go for it. So it is going to be, interestingly, a double attack damage team here. Zuna back on Ashe, ManCloud going for the mid lane Ezreal.
Okay, so we will have that extra blue Ezreal sort of kiting potential there in the late game for Vulcan. Added on to the ridiculous amount of engage that they have. Not only do they have Crystal Arrow, we always talk about the Ashe Zyra combo having so much engage and disengage, but Zac is perfect for following up on those because the Elastic Slingshot at max level is one of the few abilities that can catch up to one of those long-range Crystal Arrows, and then Jarvan as well. So very, very strong engage on this Vulcan team.
And meanwhile, and it's interesting to point out as well, a similar team was here, although the mid laner was Ryze, when Curse took on TSM in the third meeting. TSM played against a very similar composition not that long ago. Did come up with a win, so they at least will be sort of remembering part of this game. And oh man,
both teams right now.
Yeah,
we hear everyone on Vulcan's going, oh, they pulled a trick. Very nice here. We're gonna have either
They're both mid laners.
Either Dyrus or Reggie. Yes, they've actually pulled off the swap now. They have no top laners, but yeah, it's probably still gonna be Reggie handling the Karthus, just because that's his champion. It's synonymous with the name Reginald, so it'll be him on Karthus, but he'll probably be looking for a 2 vs 1v1 situation in one of the side lanes. So that means that the early wards inside the jungles and the level 1 invades are going to be very important for TSM to pick the lanes that they want. Because Dyrus on TF is probably going to go middle, but Reggie needs to pick the right side lane to go to.
See if he can do it then. It's going to be a very interesting matchup here. I mean, there's very few teams who really put TF on their top laner. I know Dignitas does it with Kiwi Kids sometimes, and he's had, I think, pretty good success with that pick overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen Dyrus Twisted Fate. Now, to be fair, Dyrus is one of those old school beta players who played way back in 2009 when everyone, if he wanted to be good at the game, had to play Twisted Fate because he was just that strong of a champion.
Ah, yes, the AoE stun gold cards.
You could throw 2 for a bug for a while. That was good too. You were just locked up for 4 seconds. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, so Dyrus, guess he's gonna learn. Guess he's got to know the champion, and you know, despite everything, TSM have also run with 3 globals in their team.
All right, we'll have to see if Dyrus can earn that mid lane chair. And meanwhile, Mandatory Cloud also going to be a bit different here. You know, he's running the Ezreal. It's not the most wacky mid laner that we've seen because the blue Ezreal build is very popular among them, but it's really fallen off since the changes to the tier and how long it takes Mermana to stack up. It really has fallen out of favor with a lot of people because it's another like almost 10 minutes even delay in game until you hit that power spike. So he has to be even more careful than usual in the early stages.
But it seems to be a role that ManCloud is just a little bit comfortable in. When you look back at the spring split, both in week 10 and in the playoffs as well, he had actually played Draven a couple of times. ManCloud was playing the AD carry role a couple of times for his squad, and he's run mid Ezreal a couple of times. And one of his big mid laners is Jace. He's certainly just has a good amount of experience with these attack damage centric champions, with guys who want to land basic attacks, who want to be guys who pick up a Manamune and a Brutalizer and a Last Whisper, and oh look, that's the blue Ezreal build for most of it. So you know, it's as sort of unorthodox as it is, it's really within his standard champion pool.
I think that they do kind of have a timer on them, though, because when you run double AD, a lot of the times where those compositions fail is when you don't have good protection for both your ADs. You don't have good CC and a good front line. But if Karthus gets to the point where his Requiem is going to be able to take half of your HP off of both of your AD carries anyways, then it's very easy to dive the back line with Nocturne to finish off a half health AD carry.
That's true.
They also have Twisted Fate who can port in with him. And we've seen how deep a Twisted Fate and Nocturne can dive already today.
So there's a lot of interesting games at play here because the only frontline tank for TSM is the Jungle Nocturne. And as we know, especially for, I think, TSM and basically teams who aren't Cloud9, the junglers tend to get less gold, right? So, like, Oddwin's not going to be that tanky, and when we look at some of the other games that have worked well against double AD, it's been a really big fed Shen or something, right? A big tank who could just survive that damage output, which TSM really might not have here, but as you mentioned, there's that crazy assassination potential. So it's like glass cannon damage output versus glass cannon damage output in a lot of the sense here.
And really, I think the main difference is going to be Vulcan looking for more tower kills and sieging up because they do have the range advantage, whereas TSM is going to be looking to land those kills.
All right, let's see if TSM can get the kills and if Vulcan can get the objectives here. A battle of different priorities. And just to recap, TSM, if they can keep winning today, they guarantee 3rd place, which they said they wanted, not only for the mental edge over Vulcan, but to actually play Vulcan specifically in the playoffs. We'll see if TSM can do it. Vulcan, basically, for a little bit here, they're almost picking their playoff opponent. Like, if CLG can win out and Vulcan beats TSM here, they actually say, all right, we're going to play Counterlogic Gaming instead. I don't know if that plays in their mind at all, but TSM is certainly looking for a win here regardless.
Yeah, at that point you have to, like, who would you rather even really play against? Both teams are very unpredictable. So we'll have to see how it doesn't look like either team is going for a very aggressive level 1. We don't even have defensive wards from TSM yet. They're just using the human wards, so sort of saving their vision potential till a bit later in the game. The longer you can hold on to those means the longer they will last when you eventually do put them. It saves you a little bit of cash.
Alright, well, let's see where the move end up going through. Flag toss comes down, spots a little bit of TSM, and Vulcan continuing their way through that TSM jungle. They get spotted out, the ward, the lay waste as well. So, basically, Vulcan knows they got spotted here. They throw the pink ward down regardless, see that there's no vision control for TSM on that side. which may just give Vulcan the ability to steal later on. But they're still grouping up. They're still kind of making their decisions. We've still got 25 seconds till the buff spawn.
And the early deep wards that I was thinking TSM would go for to try and pick their lane did not get placed down here. So it's really just going to be Reggie blindly going top. And it's probably going to end up as that 1v1 situation. Now, Karthus versus Zac is a bit dangerous for Reggie in that area. He's going to have someone come ward for him because he's very, very vulnerable to Jarvan ganks.
That's going to be risky here, and Oddone actually will even land his... actually, both junglers will land their minion patterns on that top side of the map, in fact. So Oddone starting his blue, going to make his way towards the red. Smithy doing a mirrored path here. We'll see if that top lane is under fire. And actually, Reggie is going to be the Twisted Fate here, actually. So, yeah, and actually I thought it was Reggie the whole time, because I'm like, oh, in the mid lane is the Karthus. That must be Reginald. So Reggie actually holding this one up against ManCloud. It is that side lane Karthus here for Dyrus.
All right, so with the... Dyrus coming to lane, they'll see his items and see that he has no wards, but since he's CSing from so far back, it's not worth it for Jarvan to come up to the top lane this early. Meteos always talks about how he does not want to waste time ganking unless it's a sure thing, and that's exactly what should be going through Smithy's head right now, so he's just going to continue farming up and gaining experience so that when he does come for his eventual gank, he'll have the power to actually finish it off.
Yeah, both junglers have that plan right now. You actually watch them in the minimap as they lurk around. The Wraiths were cleared by the Odd One. You've got the Wolves, now the Wraiths being taken out by Smithy as well. Odd One now onto his Wolves. We do have a jungling start for the junglers, taking a bunch of gold for themselves. As we kind of mentioned before, we do have pretty much standard lane setups here. Actually, straight up full standard lanes. No one even swapped through dual lanes to the top, so pretty much normal guys here.
And this is what I was thinking we would be seeing more in 310 because of the added importance of the first dragon that does go down. With turrets having more armor, it's going to be harder to answer. And really, in the 2v2 matchup that came about because of this, the Ashe and Zyra is very, very hard to deal with that early because auto attacks before you hit level 6 are basically the most important part of those lanes. And Ashe and Zyra definitely have the upper hand as far as those are concerned because of the range advantage.
And you see them push all the way in, 23 to 15 in minions, and poor Wild Turtle is doing an okay job last hitting, but a 6 minion kill lead has been built straight up. Equal minion waves here, 6 minions bonus here for Vulcan. You see that manifest in a 200 gold lead, even despite Reggie getting a little bit of bonus gold from his Twisted Fate passive. As we watch that matchup as well, you even see a lead for ManCloud, 29 to 24. He's ever so slightly above Reginald. Psycho Sid actually tied with Dyrus, though, 25-25.
Now we do have a little bit of an invade here, and Dyrus is actually going to face check Smithy. Might have to blow his flash here, but he does have Odd One backing him up.
Let's see how well he can dodge the Skittles. More damage coming onto Smithy, down to 400 health. Psycho Sid's nearby, though, and in vision range. Odd One jumps in, nice spell shield's going to block the knockup, and the battle has begun, but Dyrus is out of mana. Will they chase on? Odd One forced to flash the knockup and get out. That is a positive here for Vulcan.
Well, both junglers blowing their flashes, so
true.
A bit of an even trade there.
I'm wrong.
It was all because of that Dyrus out of mana, you're right. Having no mana on Karthus is, as we always say, the only time you're not scared of Karthus.
Unless he's dead, then it really doesn't matter anymore.
Well, if he's dead, then you're more scared of him than when he's out of mana, because he's still going to be casting on you. Meanwhile, it means that both of the top, bottom, and the mid lane are all shoved up to the turrets for Vulcan. So they're doing a great job in the early game, making TSM lose CS to the turrets, and they're taking chips off of all of those towers, getting the early tower damage advantage, which is exactly what you need when you're running a double AD composition.
So well done right there by Vulcan, playing it as you called it. And Smithy, by the way, a second ago, actually lost a smite battle for the big Wraith with the Odd One. They both were equal level. Odd One, by the way, this is a precursor, won the first smite battle between these two junglers, and is now, as you mentioned, those pushed up lanes, looking for the bottom lane. Exhaust on the Zuna. Silverbolt procs up. A lot of pain coming across, and that's not going to be a successful flash here. Zuna taking so much pain now. One attack to go. First blood goes to the Odd One, and now Bloodwater being chased down. It's going to be a bit more damage from the Wild Turtle, but he escapes. Still 1-0 TSM.
Wonderful rotation from the Odd One just as the ward runs out. I have to wonder if they had the timer on that ward, because keeping track of those 3-minute timers on wards is what can make the difference of wasting your jungler's time or not. And it looked like they had actually called the odd one down for that one at the perfect time. Great job by TSM.
You know, I was about to ask you if they were pushing because Nocturne's like pre-6 ganks aren't quite as strong, and I'm glad I didn't say anything because he ganked at level 4 and succeeded. So good job, everyone at TSM, making that all happen. Psycho said though still on the push. Of course, knows Abum was down in the bottom lane, so why not put Dyrus under his turret? But I gotta say, Dyrus, right? He found the matchup, he found the 1v1, and he's winning his lane. He's 52-46. I gotta say, it's a good job for Dyrus on a champion I've never seen him play before.
Well, his Karthus is not terrible, so I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's doing a very good job CSing, and all he really has to do is stay far back, because Psycho Sid's constantly pushing. Like we said, Vulcan's game plan at the beginning was to shove all of the minion waves in each lane to the turrets to constantly keep them back, and Karthus is actually very easy at CSing under your turret. So, great job, yes, by Dyrus, and as well, if it wasn't for that turnaround bottom lane, and Wild Turtle would really be hurting here. And it's a good job by Odd One returning to that bottom lane. Now that he does have his paranoia, that level 6 scary Nocturne gank that you talked about is on the table.
So let's see what ends up happening. You've already got the pink ward down in the right-hand side on that bottom lane. Smithy, though, looking for actually a steal right now on the jungle. And no one's around yet to take it away.
And the reason that he is able to get this steal is because Odd One was hovering around that bottom lane waiting for a repeat gank. He wanted to go back after Zuna because Zuna still had no flash, and Ashe with no escapes would be a very easy target.
Yeah.
But he decided to abort that gank bottom and missed out on his red buff. So really good job of Smithy by capitalizing. Vulcan said that's one of the areas that he's improved in most, is the timing of the buffs and the decision making in the mid game.
Well, incredibly well played by the Vulcan jungler, and you just saw him donate the blue away to his teammate ManCloud. Now the Abba's trying to equalize. He's going in for Vulcan's red buff. Now Auden has smite and Smithy doesn't. However, there's no backup here, so Auden backs out.
So Odd One backs off because Zuna and Bloodwater left the lane. He thought that he got seen out by invading the red, but he didn't even get seen out. Both Zuna and Bloodwater were actually going back for the double golems there.
Yeah.
So now TSM think there's a ward up by the top river when there actually is not.
I'm gonna laugh if that brush gets pinked and they're like, where'd the ward go? Although I guess with red down at this point, they don't need to cover that one so much anymore. ManCloud, though, still playing up against Reginald, and you're looking at an 89-73 minion kill lead. Mandatory Cloud going for that blue Ezreal has got the early tier with just a Doran's Blade and Longsword, still beating up Twisted Fate, who is level 6. We have not seen the triple globals come out yet for TSM.
Jarvan does get behind Wild Turtle, though. There's the Crystal Arrow.
Wonderful root just lands. Wild Turtle dodges forward. Zuna stunned up. Will he take enough damage? Zuna, oh, you're gonna go down to the Requiem, but they might trade back. Wild Turtle goes down. Bloodwater takes that kill, and the pressure onto Smithy. He's losing a lot of health. 200. Ezreal comes by, does a bit of damage. Smithy survives.
So did Zuna!
Left. Wait, what?
They left Zuna. They thought the Requiem was going to finish him, so Reggie didn't even throw his card at Zuna. He just left him to die in that bush and turned around to try and go for Smithy, and they get nothing out of that.
The barrier bait too strong. Yes, please, the replay.
Okay, so here's the Crystal Arrow. This is exactly how they want to go. Great crescendo saves Wild Turtle right here. They think that Zuna's dead at this point. So Reggie comes in, doesn't even go for him. The barrier barely saves him. He still has vision of Zuna, though, and the cannon minute shooting him doesn't finish him off. So Smithy gets away at the very last two. My God, that barrier.
I'm sorry, but yeah, that just happened.
All right, so Reggie still had vision actually after the Requiem didn't kill him too, because the TF Ultimate was still on, even though Zuna was in that bush.
They had a ward too.
Reggie had already made his decision to go for Smithy instead of Zuna there, and it was just a little bit too greedy. They get nothing for it.
Oh man, it's like Wile E. Coyote with tunnel vision there. Just unfortunately smacked his head on the wall. Going in for Dyrus, though, puts the wall down. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dyrus, but no spells here to save you. Great gank there by Smithy, making that one happen. Vulcan now 2-1, and they're now got a 400 gold lead. However, the jungler shows top, and TSM immediately reacts, puts their head in the game, and goes for Dragon.
Great job but this will be an opportunity for Vulcan to poke at TSM and try and delay this dragon.
We'll see if they can do it. The Nocturne goes by to deny vision. That's enough for the Owen to pick up a smite, but a 3-man knock-up here. Zuna, though, getting jumped on, has to flash away. Psychosid gets the turret in the top lane. Good adaptation here by Vulcan to keep the pressure up there while the dragon goes down, so they manage to trade objectives. TSM still with that dragon. Well played.
Yeah, so TSM try and get something out of that death of Dyrus up top, and it was a really nice paranoia by the Odd One, as Reggie does get jumped on here and cataclysmed.
A lot of damage coming across. Reggie does not have any summoners available. Smith is going to have his Q up in a second. He makes the shot. Nice job right there. Mancloud would have confirmed it if he needed to. But there we go, 3-1. And just to track, by the way, Mancloud 13 kills short of the record for most kills. Hasn't had any of the game yet, though. He's only got 2 games to do it.
And now he's going to get a pretty easy turret kill here as he does clear out the waves. Odd One's going to come to defend it with Dyrus, though, so they are able to fend it off.
Let's see. Yeah, turret does survive. Okay, TSM holding up their lane now in the bottom lane. They're going to rely a little bit on Wild Turtle, who's actually... I'm thinking, yeah, this was Wild Turtle was basically the reason that they had won the last time around when they met in Week 7. We talked about it a bit in the pregame when he went kind of crazy on Twitch, got a big quadra kill at the end there and made the fight happen. Actually flashed into one of the battles, like into melee range, basically as an AD carry. And Wild Turtle sitting here at 93 minion kills. He's got an assist. He's basically above Zuna right now. That's right now. Like, I feel like that's where the hopes lie so far for TSM. So this is the man we got to watch for.
Okay, yes. So now that things have calmed down, take a step back, and TSM are thinking the same thing as you. They want to try and get Wild Turtle to that peak stage in the mid game, and they've used all of their globals to try and get him there. It just happened that they did flub the first round of those globals, and it put them pretty far behind. So now Wild Turtle's in trouble once again.
He's taking a lot of pain right there. Goes to jump backwards. Zuna now under fire. Will they do the damage properly? Zuna, oh, the Summoner Heal's going to keep him alive. And the answer back, Wild Turtle, that's going to be a kill from the Requiem. I assure you, double kill, in fact. Nice job, Dyrus, with the chase on for Bloodwater. Bloodwater will get away from this one, but a nice 2-for-0 for TSM. Mancloud, I feel like you're a bit overextended. I think he's gonna walk away.
All right, second time's the charm. We just talked about TSM using all the globals to try and get Wild Turtle going. Pick up the kills this time. They're able to execute it. This is exactly what they have to do because they've basically built all of their globals they've used all their globals to support Wild Turtle, and Dyrus is just still trying his best to farm at turret up in the top lane.
He's doing a very good job of that one. 134 minions. Basically first place in the game. He's only 5 behind Mancloud. 2 kills as well. Going for the early Rite of Ages. Has the Tear of the Goddess as well. And the odd one, he's tried now twice to counter jungle, but can't quite find it. Even though he's not standing on a ward, there's too much sort of presence here from the Vulcan squad stopping him up. The bottom turret also goes down, so TSM are finding a lot of globals here. They've got a 1,000 gold lead. So, interestingly, they're actually equal in gold and actually winning the objective game. They're equal in kills, winning the objective game. Now they're tied. Okay. So that turret's going to go down, and then the bottom turret also is extremely low still, so they could chalk up another one right now. And with the double AD comp, they need to take the momentum of those 2 turret kills to roll into a secondary turret here. So they have to keep up the pressure on TSM because the way to take away part of the advantage of this triple sort of semi-global comp that TSM is running is to gain the map advantage by taking out as many turrets early as you can. See if they can get the pressure on. Then you've got Zuna pushing that bottom lane. He's looking for that pressure. You've had Psychosid barely ever leave top lane. He's kept Dyrus there. There is the Turtle. There's the third one. So the outer turrets by 15 minutes are down. Vulcan have that one. There's the first one they're looking for. Dragons in 2 minutes. They might grab that objective as well. They're looking for some globals. And this is just sort of the case here for Vulcan. As you say, early pressure. Can they keep finding it? We'll see if they go Dragon. We'll see if they go for a second turret. Or a second tier turret, I should say.
So what you usually want to do against a team with globals like this is go to the source of those globals, which would be Reginald and Dyrus. So if Vulcan want to try and pull off an attack, it will be on one of those 2 solo laners. Psychosid doing his best up here by himself, but it's really going to come from that Crystal Arrow if he can catch either Reggie or Dyrus off guard with that, they can easily roll that one into an actual objective, one of the secondary turrets.
Well, you're seeing Vulcan set up for it. They've got some ward coverage over this upper jungle. They've got 2 wards above the river on TSM's sort of side of the map here. But the ult's coming in for the mid lane. It's going to be a jump onto Bloodwater. Will it be enough damage? Reggie down to half. Bloodwater falls over. Reggie with very little health, but Smithy's stunned up. This is rough. Oh, Bloodwater grabs the kill actually with the passive. Smithy forced to run, does not have flash. His other abilities are on code, and there it is. He can finally flag toss the wall, but Oddone shows back up. He's got a turret defending him, though. Will it be enough? Oddone just dived this one. There's the Requiem, and he will leave it for Dyrus. Oh, that was close. The shield not enough to save Smithy.
So they were able to trade 2 for 1, but TSM committed a lot of resources. Those were all their globals used.
And Oddone has nowhere to go, no health bar, and a kill for Mandatory Cloud. There's 1 of 13, going for the record tie right here. And unfortunately for Bloodwater, he's also going for a record. 3 assists, and he ties the assist record at 305, but he's kill stolen all of them. This is the one time you don't want to kill secure.
And it's not looking as good for TSM anymore. They used the Paranoia, the Requiem, and the Destiny, only to trade even there. They ended up cleaning up Oddone there, so Vulcan really came out ahead.
Great stuff then by these guys. Dragon is available, and it looks like they're making the move over. There's not a lot of ward control either side. In fact, TSM has better wards here, but the fight has begun. The double AD carry in Zyra putting down a fair bit of damage, but they realize, yep, TSM is coming over. Vulcan gonna have to run away from this one. Psycho Sid's too far across the map, and it's a retreat here for Vulcan.
This will be a 4 versus 5, so Vulcan probably don't want to start out the Dragon, but they can actually defend it.
That was a bit of a risk right there. Some damage on a Dyrus. Wild Turtle is around as well. And you say it's a 4 versus 5. There's the full TSM lineup. Sid is still top lane. TSM just going in hard for this. There is some vision from the Zyra plants. Smithy is still lurking around. Nuh-uh. It's the Dragon going to TSM. We'll see if Sid can equalize with a turret kill.
It's going to be very difficult for him. He'll get a good chunk of damage on it, but TSM were able to pressure Vulcan away from the Dragon and get enough damage on them, forcing flashes as well, that Vulcan weren't able to successfully defend that one. Because that Crystal Arrow was missed, so much of the threat of that 4-man squad of Vulcan down there was gone. That was really the main reason that TSM were able to capitalize.
And of course, you're seeing Dyrus right now just chunking Psycho Sid, forcing him back. Exhaust was used. The Wall of Pain as well. If he actually splits him into little particles, it might be enough. Sid jumps in on the Dyrus, collects a little bit of the Globlets, Ignite Burn as well, but here comes Twisted Fate. That's not good for Sid. Can he do enough damage to kill Dyrus? No, he cannot, with only 50 health left, and this is going to be a kill here for the TSM squad. Who's going to get it? It's going to Reggie.
Really, really well played by Dyrus, by the way. You talked about him not playing Karthus that much, but doing extremely well on him. And right there, he did a good job of not only using Karthus, but also the red buff auto attacks.
Good job there, especially taking a bunch of pain, but no dive here. Smithy's ult doesn't end up resulting in more than just Xpecial's flash, some damage in the turret, but here comes a flank from Wild Turtle.
Oh, the re-engage here from TSM.
It's going to be a lot of damage into Manclad. He's forced back. Wild Turtle goes in hard, finds one kill. Barry's going to time out. The Odd's going to get traded back. No, he survives. Wild Turtle's still getting chased. Can Smithy do enough damage? He's got 2 Silver Bolt procs on him. We're watching the chase. There is the kill onto Reggie onto the side. The kill on Wild Turtle does come down as well. Requiem comes across. Not enough damage. Double kill for Zuna. But here is Dyrus for the cleanup. Gets one kill, then gets stunned. Has no more ability to chase down for this one unless Zuna stays in range too long. So that's going to be a 3 for 2 in Vulcan's favor.
Dyrus does sort of have command of the map right now, though. With that red buff, he's pretty scary, and he'll have the pressure on the turret.
And he might just have enough to kill the turret. The Wall of Pain comes down, pushes back Zuna. Minions are running out, but one more attack is all it takes. Dyrus finds it. Whoa, Zuna. Yeah, you're going to have to leave that one.
Okay, so the global's down once again. All right, let's just take a look at the re-engage. They're going to go straight onto Mandatory Cloud, and Wild Turtle tries to come in from the flank, but it costs him 30% of his life in just one shot right there, and then Smithy's able to follow him back down to finish him off over here. So sort of the flank from Wild Turtle right there did not go as planned, and it's only because Dyrus is able to come in here and flash that they even answered to get even.
Well, nice try then by TSM. Interesting battle, and to be fair, it has put them up 1,500 gold so far. So you look at the weird battles, look at the 8-8 in kills, even the turret kill lead for Vulcan, and you realize that well, Solomid are actually still in the lead this game. They're the ones with a bit more gold, a bit more power on the map, so you still got to respect the fact that they're still looking good, even with the pretty unique champion picks.
And Odd1 is going to be building mostly armor this game too. So by the time that he gets, say Thornmail plus a Randuin's, that's when Vulcan are really going to have to be scared, because TSM's team is all about creating confusion and grabbing Vulcan members off guard.
Well, good flat for Bloodborne, but the chase might still come through, and it does. There's one kill picked up, and they're going to keep chasing down. Smithy forced to run backwards. Of course, now 9-8 with a 5-4 on the map.
ManCloud.
Yeah, ManCloud's not in a good place. He's trying to kite back. He has the Iceborne Gauntlet that allows him to run back pretty successfully. And in fact, Vulcan's going to leave him, or TSM's going to leave him alone. However, they're going to keep pushing on towards this turret. Although ManCloud's going to kill minions off and prevent that as well. Pops the ulti, spots the rest of TSM. They're still lurking in the shadows. Smithy,
this is a 5-man TSM team.
You're walking into a lot of dudes right here. This is pretty dangerous. A stun lands. They're going to go for the engage anyway. 4 versus 5. They find Dyrus. Reggie getting knocked up into the air. Crescendo comes across, but 1 kill's been found. Zuna still off in the wings. 2 kills for 1 now. Odd1 dangerously low. He is not quite going to go down, but Requiem is not available, so Wild Turtle can get jumped on. ManCloud finds one special. Slowed down too much. He goes down. Only the Odd1 limps away. A 4 versus 5, and they get 4 for 2.
The Hawkshot sees him, and Mandatory Cloud's on the chase, but he's so far away. The Dustbringer trail is going to give Odd1 enough speed to get out.
But there's 7 seconds until ManCloud's ultimate's back up. That said, of course, pretty sure the spell shield's still there for the Odd1. We'll see if ManCloud tries.
Yeah, his spell shield's ready, but if you're not expecting that in the base, so we'll see if this one can snipe him. Oh, a little bit off, and he does spell shield anyways.
Worth a try.
Nice try, but after that fight, it gave Vulcan control of the map because TSM were so low. Wild Turtle, or the Odd1 did not have enough health to defend anything, so they ended up getting objective on it after that as well. What a great engage. We talked about the massive amount of engage from Vulcan, and since the cooldowns there from TSM were out, Crystal Arrow into Zac bounce was a perfect start. But he's fighting on top of a dead Dyrus here. That's the passive from Karthus doing so much work. Wild Turtle just got a little bit too close right there, and a great job by Mandatory Cloud cleaning it up.
There's actually something that ManCloud did really well, which was he actually, as soon as he killed Dyrus, stayed out of range of Lay Waste and Defile until the Death Defied ended. I really like that move by ManCloud.
Smithy didn't do the exact same thing, though.
No, nor did Zuna even. Actually, Zuna was targeted by those Lay Wastes, but it was enough for him to survive, of course. So, now we're at 12-1. This game incredibly hectic, and Vulcan pulling a lead back, 500 gold. They also capitalized with a turret off of that fight, so 4-2. Also a blue buff steal, that's big for them. And Dragon's up in 15 seconds.
We should have seen how brawly this game would be from Champion Select, just because Vulcan have so many ways to engage, but so did TSM. They have got all the globals that they need to close that gap, and then they have the Vayne, the AD carry that's almost the best in the game at chasing people down because of her passive. So both of these teams are just looking to hunt each other down, and try catch just one person out of position can mean an entire team fight.
And we'll see. Mandatory Cloud is actually powered up, though. He's got the Muramana combine, or the upgrade, I would say, completed now. So he's going to have some bonus damage on his attacks and his Mystic Shots whenever he toggles the item on. Going to be a little bit careful about Lay Waste, but now comes the interesting part. Dragon is back up, and for the first time, Vulcan actually have 5 people here to contest for it.
TSM don't have any vision on it either, so it's really, really scary for TSM to check any of this, and they'd rather just go in with the Destiny here. With Destiny being down, though, they have no further way to check without their wards. They're just going to rely on those Lay Wastes from Dyrus to check each bush before they walk into it.
Well, right now, ManCloud has burned his ulti to clear off the bottom side of the map, so it proves that they're still wanting to stick around right here. TSM still lurking around there. Vulcan is standing on a ward. Bloodborne's going to check that for himself, though, and spot it out. So they've darkened some of TSM's vision. The standoff, though, still on both sides of Dragon.
TSM have a slightly bigger wave pushing bottom, but Vulcan have a slightly bigger wave pushing top right now. So this is as much of a stalemate as you can possibly see at this point of the game. Neither of them want to be the one tanking Dragon because the team fights are going to be so close.
Wow.
That little difference could mean the change. Reggie doesn't have Destiny, by the way, so him showing bottom means that Vulcan are aware of this, and they actually just do the exact same thing with Zuna.
And good set of moves on both sides, and this is TSM saying, hey, Zuna's top, or Zuna's mid, great. We can go in this one.
Smite
Vision
Wars
is here.
part 2.
Will they get it? And again, it's the odd one who wins the Smite War. Smithy forced to flash away for his sins, and that's just going to be a minion wave pushing into the inhibitor, but no other major objective control for Vulcan. They are, however, going to get a steal on this red buff.
So we're back to even, Freak.
Yes,
12 to 11, and the gold's pretty much there. Good steal here for Zuna, but since Ash already has slow and won't add a whole bunch more to her kit, the extra damage is always helpful. But Wild Turtle is going to be getting more damage because he's got a nice juicy wave of minions up top.
Nice, and looks like another blue buff they're going to go over. So this is the one thing that Vulcan has controlled well. TSM has gotten every single dragon here, despite Vulcan's attempts, but Vulcan has stolen so much of the other jungles, the buff holders, the blue and the red buff. That's been their real strong thing here, and in fact, ManCloud turning on his Muramana, they might pressure the arrow lane. They're going to destroy, absolutely destroy Xpecial. Smithy proving he has the better capital X leaded name. They're going to move in for Baron here on a 5v4.
They did use 3 ultimates for that, though. So, no Ezreal, Ashe, or Zyra ultimate for this. And TSM have only 3 members by the Baron pit. Dyrus is still very far back, so they're just trying to delay this.
See if they can do it. Oven jumping in on the fight. A lot of pain coming across with the Nocturne, though. Wild Turtle burns his ult, forced to run away. The Let's Bounce comes across. Wild Turtle still trying to run. Looks like the damage is going to be found. ManCloud takes it. That's his 5th kill of the game. He's on his way to the record. Iris pushing away Psycho Sid. The battle still ensuing, though. Zuna in the battle. He might drop down. Does he have the barrier? He does. It is just enough to survive, so no trade kill. 2 for 1. A long form 3 for 1, actually, for Vulcan.
Those types of moves are so hard to pull off, and it's so dangerous. TSM really playing with fire around that Baron. Just trying to poke Vulcan to make Vulcan worried about doing the Baron. They only want to delay them until Dyrus could arrive, but they got a little bit too close, and Psycho Sid did a great job of turning towards Wild Turtle and jumping on them.
It's that Vulcan engage power. Even though they burned the Ashe arrow to jump onto Smithy, onto Xpecial, and Smithy followed up, Psycho Sid had saved all of his stuff to still continue on. Bloodwater, I believe, still had his ulti as well and got to use that in the fight. No, he didn't.
No.
He used that for Xpecial?
Yeah.
Okay. So they burned 2 of them and still had a couple available afterwards. So good moves then by Vulcan to have that much engaged. They can go for 2 battles after each other. Zuna's going to... Is he saving the red buff for later, or is he giving it to ManCloud?
He thought twice about that. He got the red buff all the way down to 100 HP and then reminded himself that he's already wearing one and would rather save his for later.
I think he was just giving him a warning shot. He's like, hey, I can kill you anytime I want. You think about that. You give it up next time.
Lizard brutality.
Yeah, we're going to not be happy with us. Oh, well. He's lit on fire, by the way, too. He got frozen and lit on fire. That is not the best. I would hate being a lizard in this game. But Vulcan running through. There is ManCloud, blue Ezra with a matching red buff. A little coordination there, and Wild Turtle is going to continue on farming. He's got 202. Been donated a fair bit of the farm. Despite his other major carries having globals, he's still getting a good number, being donated a lot of those lanes.
This point in the game with these 2 compositions is so tense because Vulcan are going to be trying to force TSM into a bad spot by Baron, while TSM are going to try and take advantage of the destiny that they do have to have a split pushing Reggie, but so much rests on Reggie's shoulders to not misplay his split push and be able to join the rest of TSM when something does break out. And something inevitably will break out because of the Crystal Arrow and the almost guaranteed engage that Vulcan have built in.
Well, speaking of guaranteed engages, to say there's Destiny being burned, and Reggie actually doesn't find the place to go in. So burns that. That's actually that's twice now at least. He's used that and been like, you know what? Never mind.
That gives you a sense of just how worried TSM were right now. Like, Smithy gets caught.
He gets jumped in on. He's going to jump away from this one, though. Blade King was burned. Reggie takes a bit of pain. There's the engage on a Bloodwater. He's just going to explode. He does get Stranglethorns down. The knockout comes across. Psycho Sid dangerously low as well. The arrow coming across, trying to stop down the team. ManCloud might just take too much damage. It's going to be close. He does fall over. Zuna, it's on you. He's got to run from Reggie. So many kills now going TSM's way. Triple kill for Dyrus. 3 for 2, TSM's favor.
Zuna was not with the rest of Vulcan when that fight broke out right there. Good job of TSM jumping on the opportunity, but you can see even then how close it is. they only came out with a 2-4-3. They also burned the Zac passive, though, which is going to be a very long cooldown. Great start here by Wild Turtle, catching out Smithy, and then they just continue to jump on here. The Paranoia goes off, and an amazing crescendo from Xpecial, but an equally good Stranglethorns there from Bloodwater forces TSM back, and then Zuna steps up, and he goes full into this bush here, taking out 2 more people at TSM.
Speaking of Zuna, there's one thing I actually really like about his build, is the addition of the Static Shiv. We almost always see Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge, but Static Shiv works for Ashe for 2 reasons. One is the guaranteed crit from her passive. You can crit Static Shiv's damage, so you'll do 255 instead of 100 lightning damage. Also, since his team is so physical heavy, you're not seeing much magic resist from the enemy team, so he's also going to deal full damage there. And there's the exact same thing. Xpecial, poor guy. No arrow available though for Zuna, so Xpecial not going to die this time.
The watchful eye of Reggie comes out, though. He pops the Destiny and saves his support. Vulcan, I'm watching you. Don't go after Xpecial. I need him.
He's mine. He's my support.
His our happy hamster. So he lives to fight another day here. And back to your Static Shiv point, yeah, that's all the same reasons that Sneaky always gets that Static Shiv, and one of the main reasons why that Zyra Ashe combo works so well for Cloud9, and it's the exact same reason that why Vulcan picked it up. So great job for them, but because of their focus on this Baron Pit area, it enabled TSM to take advantage and grab up that dragon for free,
which has put them now 2,000 gold in the lead once more. 4 of 4 dragons, if I read that one properly. TSM with a lot of money from those, and it's helping them really hold on to this game right here, because Vulcan, they've just done such a good job of picking engages. I mean, I suppose TSM's done the same. They've got 15 kills, but you've got to realize, like, Dragon is the reason TSM are winning in gold. It's that objective that has given them the lead here. And even still, Vulcan still feels aggressive.
Reggie creeping around behind here, and he has Zhonya's.
This is going to be scary. They find Bloodwater to jump in. He will pop the Stranglethorns, but go down right away. The engage comes in from Psycho Sid. Ogban in the front. They're going to chase on Reggie. Reggie falls over and just drops down. Zuna is godlike on Ashe right now, and the chase has begun. Blue Ezra's got so much kiting and chasing potential. Dyrus is going to go down right here. Double kill now for Zuna, and the health bars, they're gonna risk the Requiem. Vulcan are not low enough, but they're dangerously hurt.
Oh, Reggie around the back there gets cut off from the rest of TSM. Meanwhile, they're only able to answer with Bloodwater because Psycho Sid and Smithy were just so tanky. And really good for Vulcan right there because they retain possession of this Baron Pit.
Well, the smite is up for the album, but no Paranoia and no flash. He actually couldn't steal if he wanted to without taking the long way around. He's trying, but it's too late. The smite comes over. There's the ward over the wall, and Albin is getting slowed now. 2 champions, 2 AD carries are slowing his movement speed, but Xpecial re-engages. Smithy getting focused, jumps on a Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle is destroyed right there in the fight. There goes Xpecial. The Albin has nowhere to go as well. 3 kills and Baron. That was not worth it, TSM.
So the tanks of Vulcan come out ahead in the clash of the 5 vs 5 finally. TSM's globals did not help them in that mid lane battle, and Vulcan were able to roll that one fight into a Baron plus an inhibitor.
And they've got 30 seconds. Look at this. The death timer is still there. Globals don't help you inside your own base, let alone when outnumbered 2-1. So there is the inhibitor picked up. Now it's the gold lead back in Vulcan's favor. Only 2,500 gold, mind you. It's 54 to 52,000 gold. Very close game. We'll see if Vulcan can capitalize more on the next 10 seconds of Wild Turtle's death, but they don't have minions on top of turrets yet.
TSM are still very much in this game. Now, the only thing is they have to change mentality from trying to pick people off with these globals to defending until they're absolutely sure they're finding a solo member of Vulcan, like Bloodwater.
Oh no, Reggie didn't have a card locked and he wasn't in range. Bloodwater with boots of mobility. So fast. Got away from it.
Now, this is a perfect time to go over the changes to Twisted Fate that just came about. There are slight changes to pick a card where you have 8 seconds to actually choose what card you want, so they'll be rotating, but the time to actually hold on to the card that you've selected has been drastically reduced down to 4. So that was a huge change. That means once you pick your card, you better use your card. You can't just hold on to a gold card. And Reggie right there lets it slip through his fingers.
Unfortunate. Dropped it. Couldn't pull out the right one. Or at least keep it. I guess he probably pulled out the right one. Just pull it out a little bit too early. Double should teach us some more card tricks. But these guys milling back over to the right-hand side. Vulcan trying to do their best to capitalize on the Baron buff. All of them on this side of the map. Middle inhibitor already has gone down. They've got the Baron buff still. They're actually well under their average game length so far. So they could close it out in not record time, but a good time to jump in onto the Dyrus. A little bit of poke coming across there. But no
Crystal
hard engage
Arrow
just yet.
is up.
Yeah, there might just be waiting though. Maybe they don't want to dive headlong into a crescendo. That might be troublesome.
So the positioning of the team was not perfect there. They had the opportunity for the arrow, but the rest of the damage wasn't close enough to follow up.
Well then, good job being properly reserved then by Vulcan. Dyrus though still looking for poke here. Smithy of course slowed by that wall of pain. Has to be a little defensive here. Vulcan on their way forward, though, still dropping the minions down. They still got 1 minute left on the Baron buff. ManCloud happily taking some damage in order to poke because he can always regen it back. You're seeing that happen again. Special losing a bit more of his health, getting a little bit of mana regen, but not a ton. You're just seeing back and forth. Vulcan walk up, deal some damage, walk back, walk up, deal some damage. Dyrus now below half HP. Odwin poke down even more. The siege continues. They go in with another minion wave. This could be the turret going down, and that is Vulcan inside the base again.
This is terrible for TSM. They are completely helpless right now. The Baron buff adding so much strength to this Vulcan team. Now it's going to be the 5-on-5, but TSM would have a very hard time finishing up right here.
It seems like it's hard. You look at the Psycho Sid. He stood on the wall of pain, charged Elastic Slingshot, and said, "I dare you to walk at my team." And TSM said, "All right, we're not going to do it, Psycho Sid. Never mind. Back off from here." 1, 3, and 12. That Zach has been scary pretty much all this game. Even though his lane opponent is 8, 3, and 2, Psycho Sid's been playing very, very well this game. Doing a heck of a lot for his team. Being one of those big initiators in the siege. Continues, of course, in the top lane. Now, this time, a Baron buff has timed out to this poke. The mana, will slowly time out here and start running down for Vulcan. The health bars won't be quite as full. We'll see if TSM can hold on to the siege.
All they have to do, though, is stay up top because they have 2 lanes of super minions.
There's the crescendo. There's the dive on in. Zuna down to half HP. Pops Barry, but no one's really going to hit him too much through it. Still losing HP. Gets cataclysmed. Oh no! Smithy, you are not helping, and Zuna goes down. 1 for 1 so far. Dyrus still alive. Smithy's going to fall down. TSM with a very good team fight so far. 2 to 1. And now Vulcan, though. Still waiting around, still pushing in. Special dropped dangerously low. Last hit follows. ManCloud with the kill, but he is not in a good place anymore. Shutdown goes over to Wild Turtle. Psycho Sid's going to answer one back. This is not good for Psycho Sid. He's going to die.
Mandatory Cloud just put the man in his name right there. Arcane shifting forward to try and get the kills, and it actually caused Psycho Sid to go in to try and follow up on that one. Not actually the best move, but he definitely showed TSM who's boss.
That was a Wild Turtle type move right there. That was last Wild Turtle game, flashing into the base and getting a bad engage for it. Let's take a look at that last fight.
It was a nice crescendo there, but look at that Stranglethorns. Great job of zoning, and Reggie can't get his Zanyas off until he's already almost dead. At this point, it's a red buff, dual buff, Ezreal in the back lines firing away, and TSM are running scared here. They actually leave poor little X-Special behind this time. There's no big brother Reggie to watch out for you today. Here goes the Mandatory Cloud man mode, and we'll see the rest of the kill pop down.
Yeah, it was a little bit aggressive. He got hit by the wall of pain. That was a good cast by Darius, but I gotta wonder if he could have walked backwards at that point. Either way, 25 to 20 here. Vulcan getting control over their own blue buff. I assume that will go to ManCloud at some point. Zuna's gonna hold on to it. Looks like TSM are not aware. Here comes the ulti. Yoink! Picked up right there. ManCloud's gonna have nice low cooldowns.
He's also picked up a nice Guardian Angel for the next time that he decides to Arcane Shift into the fight.
Yes. So always a dangerous proposition. Sneaky tried it once. It didn't work out very well. It was one of their 3 losses on the season.
Yeah, he said he'll never be trying that again. A bit of a misfire there.
All right, so this time around. Wow, look at this. Like, the buffs just keep being taken. This red buff has been Vulcan's, like, all game practically.
Well, with 2 inhibitors down, you don't really have much of a choice here. TSM have to stay inside their base to defend, and it just leaves Vulcan an open spot to try and force a fight here without having to deal with tower aggro.
Well, right now they're looking for the open inhibitor. Also, there's the ulti's coming across. The global's coming on through. Smithy up in the front. He's going to jump back to his team, but the fight has begun anyway. Reggie off on the side. Psycho Sid going to tank up for his team. Wild Turtle down below half HP. Knock up onto the Oblin. Great stun on a Wild Turtle. The Vulcan are disengaging pretty successfully here. TSM still wants to chase forward. The slow's coming across. Wall of Pain down as well. The battle lines are drawn. The re-engage comes across. Look at the knockup. Special goes down. They trade 1-for-1. Wild Turtle trying to go crazy. In the back line, still alive. Double kill there for ManCloud, and he's reviving. Let's see if it's enough damage. Zuna's going to drop. Oh, a double kill for Dyrus. Looks like 3-3 so far in this fight. Wild Turtle does get rooted. He's not going to find anything else to kill.
Dyrus times his Requiem perfectly so that after Mandatory Cloud jumps up from his Guardian Angel, he sits right back down. And that was after a very well executed team fight from Vulcan. They played to the strengths of their blue Ezreal, kiting backwards as long as they possibly could, and it's almost gotten ManCloud to that record.
Exactly. I feel like they're actually delaying the game as long as possible. So, just to recap, 13 kills what was required from to tie the record of Alexich and Bjergsen. Which, by the way, I want to point out that Bjergsen did that without playing in the first 2 to 3 weeks of LCS and still got a first place kill record. So, congrats to him for being amazing. But ManCloud, with a game to go, with 1 kill to go to tie, 2 more to take it. And by the way, sold his GA. Realized that was on cooldown, and he's like, alright, I'll go Banshees. That's probably a better idea at this point.
He's popped the passive on the GA, and it's just a little bit of magic resistant armor now. So, playing that one, picking up that Mercurial Scimitar, he can now cleanse off. No, I'm looking at the wrong person here. We got the Zuna with the Mercurial Scimitar.
I assume that's for Crescendo and stuff mostly. Maybe the gold card as well from Reggie. I don't think you can Mercurial Scimitar Requiem.
Nope.
Didn't think so. You can remove Deathmark, not this one though. It's the other R button.
The red laser beam there from Karthus is more like the red dot from a sniper rifle you see on you.
I have a sash, get it off!
You can't, exactly. You can't put a sash in front of your head. They're still going to shoot the bullet right through that.
What if it's made of something really strong that blocks bullets? If I have like a 7-inch thick titanium sash, does that work?
Yes, Freak? Yes, it does.
All right, that's a really good fashion accessory, by the way.
Now, let's look for Vulcan's next move. They just tried to walk into TSM's base to an exposed inhibitor, and they were chased off, even though TSM have no more turrets remaining. So this game, dead even in gold, and TSM are not afraid to look for fights.
And they found one. Psycho Sid, not in a very good spot, gets jumped on straight away and explodes there. 1-for-0 so far. Smithy has got to hide away from his own team. Wild Turtle's ulti will end, but TSM getting a win there. Baron and Dragon both up as well.
And TSM still have Crescendo and Requiem available. In that fight, Wild Turtle did a great job of skirting the edge of that Stranglethorns from Bloodwater, allowing him to avoid that knockup. Really nice engage from TSM. This game is looking to be a long one.
It's looking that way. 43.5 minutes in, 44. I said a while ago, Vulcan might be beating their average game time. Not the case here. This is a CLG game through and through. But a 4v5 Baron attempt is risky.
No Destiny or Paranoia for this one, so TSM's going to have a harder time catching up to their targets here, and they're just going to face check this Baron.
And that Baron does go down. Alma gets stunned up. Will they do the damage? He's forced to flash away. Now they find Dyrus. Dyrus flashes into the Vulcan squad. Pops his Zonias as well. Vulcan now forced to run, but again, Vulcan are outnumbered, but they're going to find 2 kills so far. Dyrus getting away towards the back to channel Requiem, but he might get caught out. Will they kill him in time? Suna doesn't kill him in time, but they still survive. 4 kills picked up in that battle. Oh my gosh.
All of them barely surviving, and Wild Turtle's the only member on TSM left standing. He had enough life to survive that.
I didn't know. He was low last time I saw, but he had lifesteal.
But Vulcan come out with the Baron and 4 members to 1. So we may finally be seeing the end here. But let's take another look at the odd one. He's able to flash over the wall at least to avoid getting finished off. But that was at the same time that Dyrus went for the initiation here. And he immediately popped the Zonias, but there's not much they could do to follow it up. Too much kiting and consistent damage from a double AD squad that Vulcan are running.
Well, beautifully played by these guys, rewarding themselves with 2 inhibitors. Stars. 20 seconds still to go. They actually might go for the base right here. They're going down for the first Nexus turret. The dive in on Wild Turtle. He's going to get exploded right there. Goodbye to Wild Turtle. Special is now alive. He does have Crescendo. Lands it onto 3. Will that be enough for the TSM groups? He's going to get hit there. Knocked into the air, trying to flash away. Now Awa trying to buy enough time for the team. The rest of the revives are coming in 3 seconds. Smithy finds 1 kill. They've actually traded back. Ashe is dead. Here comes Dyrus jumping in. The Nexus dropping lower and lower. It's going to go down. Vulcan takes the win.
Vulcan can still go 5-0 on Super Week.
Yes, they can.
They're doing a really, really good job here, making an amazing showing right before playoffs. Teams are going to be very, very scared playing them in the playoffs.
Yes, that's just remarkably scary team. Of course, they still have 1 game to go. And think about TSM's playoff race. They still want 3rd, but it's no longer in their control. If CLG goes 2-0 for the rest of today, that's going to let Counterlogic Gaming take 3rd place at the end of the regular season here, drop TSM to 4th. Now, TSM are guaranteed 4th. They still have the top 4 locked up, but they wanted 3rd. They need to win their next game. They need to stay ahead of CLG, and that road's gotten tougher for them.
It's never going to be an easy road.
No.
But yeah, TSM, they've got a long battle ahead of them, and they really want to make their move in the actual playoffs. So we'll have to see.